Well, hello there, guys. Welcome to another video. So, in this video, I'm going to go over like a lot of the devices that I have and give you a little information on them. Some of them have low batteries and they may not work for long, but I'll go ahead and start here. So these are the phones. So I have a little box here that I put everything in. And a lot of these are actually recently acquired phones. So, first off, we have an iPhone 3G. This one was actually given to me, and I actually had to restore it back to 4.2. It does have a screen protector that makes it look like crap, but it's in really good shape as far as like the back and everything. It's in pretty good shape. It's an 8 gigabyte, 4.2.1. I had to jailbreak it to do that because it was you had to activate it, and I don't have a SIM to activate it. So it is an At&t phone, but it works just fine. The next one here is an iPhone 3GS, which I just recently acquired. It has kind of a home button issue, and the speaker does not seem to work. But it's an iPhone 3GS, and it is running 6.1. Let's see. And excuse my flash here. This room doesn't get very bright, so it's running 6.1.6. It's in really good shape, and it is oh gosh, I can't believe. I think it's 8 gigs. Yeah, it's an 8 gigabyte model. It's in pretty decent shape. Has a couple scratches on there, but looks like it was from a case, but it's in good shape. The next one here is a Ipod 2G. This is 8 gig. It has a little case on it, but it is in perfect condition. Only problem is the battery is basically dead on it. So the only way to use it is with a charger. And apparently batteries are soldered on there. And you're going to start hearing beeps of things going dead. Let me go ahead and show you all the things that are dying here. So this I've actually made a video on previously. This is an HTC. Oh, did it die? Did it die? Must have died. Anyway, this is an HTC. Oh God, what is it called? Evo 4G something. Running Android 2.2. Oh. It just died for no reason. That's nice. All right, let that boot up here. This here is a Samsung Blackjack, and it has really low battery, but it is running Windows Mobile. And as you can see, the date is wrong, but that's okay. That's probably when it was made. But as you can see, it's very old based on the singular here, and I believe it had 3G. It does not have Wi-Fi or anything like that, but I had a couple friends with one of these back in the day. I thought this was kind of interesting, the little mirror in the back so you could see yourself when you take a picture. It does have micro SD card slot here, a little scrolly wheel, which I felt was kind of interesting. Then on the other side you have your charging port, which is a Samsung proprietary charger, of course, and your volume rocker here. So I'll go ahead and turn this bad boy off here. Yeah. I remember wanting one of these, and I was like, nah, I'll stick to the cheap and easy stuff. All right, let's see. Did it stay on? Of course it didn't. Okay, so this guy's dead. Yeah, it just keeps doing that. Another one here is a Samsung. I can't remember the model, but it is one of those flippy phones with the keyboard. This is from Virgin Mobile. It does have a kind of crappy camera on the back, but has really good battery life. It just does not die. I can keep it on for a long time and it stays on. Let's see. Sorry, I'm all over the place with this. So this is one of the first 4G WiMAX phones on Sprint, and that's why I thought it was really cool. So I had to get it. Wanted to see how bad it was. You can see it's a thick boy. Does have the micro USB on the side here. You have your volume rocker. It's kind of like angled a little bit. Nothing on this side. On the top you have your power. Oh, that's why. Connect your charger. I'm dead. But yeah, you got some capacitive buttons here, and then you have your keyboard here, which does light up, which is really nice. So it's a decent little phone. Too bad it didn't get updated or anything, but with Google. Anyway, so that thing's dead. Next here is a little prepaid phone I got a while ago, and this is a Samsung J1, Galaxy J1 for Verizon. It's in great condition, runs fine. It's a little sluggish, a little slow, but you know what? It was not very expensive, so it's pretty decent. Decent little phone. Next on our list here, we'll go to the Razrs since they're beeping. So I wanted to get a Razr to review, and I ended up getting multiple Razrs. So this is a singular branded one, and it's in decent shape, but the battery was bad. So this one does not have a battery in it. This one does have a battery in it. This is an At&t version. Not much different. Does have a crack on the front. Decent condition as well. A little dirty. Battery in this one's bad. So I got this one, which had a decent battery. As you can see, it's dying. But this is an Alto version. Even though it says Verizon on the back, it's an Alto version. And you can always tell CDMA Razr based on the keypad layout. So if you look at these two together, you can see one has a little web button. This one has a camera button, clear. It's just a little bit different. Yeah, so that they can tell the CDMA versus the GSM Razrs. I'm gonna turn this boy off here. Next on our list here is, this is a Windows phone that I updated and actually made a video on. And it's gonna say SIM error because it doesn't have one in there. But it's running Windows 10 Mobile, the latest that can run. I can't remember what version it was, but it runs really well. And this one, I think this phone was maybe $10, $12. So not too shabby. Runs pretty nice. Gonna turn this boy off here. Slide down to pair off. All right. So back to the iPhones here. Some of these are recently acquired. So this one is recently acquired from my friend's mom. So this is an iPhone 4S, and it is running. Let me see. It is running. It's iOS 8, but it is. So sorry for the flash here. iOS 8.1, and it is a 16 gigabyte model. And this thing is in perfect shape, no problems or anything, no cracks or anything like that. Has a screen protector on the back, had a screen protector on the front, which I took off because it was just gross. But it is definitely a keeper. The next one is another iPhone 4S, and this one did not have any screen protectors or anything on it, but this one is a Verizon model. This other one is an At&t model, and this one is running 8.0.1. Can't even see it. All right, there we go. 8.0.2, excuse me. And it is Verizon, as I said, 16 gigabyte. So I got a white and a black one on some iOS 8 versions. So I thought that was pretty cool. This bad boy is an iPhone 5, recently acquired. And as you can tell, it needs a password, but I don't have that. I need to get the iCloud removed from this. But it is running ooh, see, it just keeps popping up with stuff. But it's running iOS 10.3.3. It's in really good shape, all things considered. This is the silver model. Check that bad boy out. It's in really good shape. And as I said, 10.3.3. She's a little sluggish right now, but I do need to get that one iCloud unlocked so I can actually restore it back to factory. Next one here, this is an iPhone 5S, and this was my 5S. But my sister ended up getting activation locked, so it is no longer working. As you can see, I have removed the battery and the screen. This is the screen from an SE that I have, which I probably should have had in this pile. Anyway, this is another phone I'm going to be fixing, hopefully. This is a water-damaged iPhone 5C that Tanner sent me a link to, which I appreciate. The display is bad, but I was able to use the battery from this 5S, pop it in here, and it did make noise, and I was able to connect it to the computer, and it recognized it. So, hoping that it's just a display. I did buy a display for that. Let's see. So this is all the phones. I do have one more over here. So I do have this SE that I got recently. And I got this one, and I replaced the screen. I took the 5S screen and put it on this. And I put a case on this because it is in bad shape, but it runs perfect, and I'm using this for iOS 13. So that's for the iOS 13 beta. Next on our list is computers. So this one is a MacBook Pro 2010 13-inch. that I got for free, actually. This was from eWaste, and it runs perfectly fine. It is running Mac OS High Sierra, and the only thing I've done to it is add an SSD, and it runs really, really well with the SSD. So, oh, I did get a battery for it also, because the battery was expanding, and yeah, it needed a new battery. I was also a little scared because it was very, very ballooned. Next on our list here is the Blackbook, the MacBook in black. And this bad boy, I actually used to test to get 10.8 on it. Battery does not work, but I am able to connect a charger to it and run it. It does have an SSD. It has the Core 2 Duo, and it has 2 gigabytes of RAM. I did also put Boot Camp on this, so I have Windows 7 on Boot Camp on this. Doesn't really want to run 8.1 or 10 very much because it doesn't like it. Next here is an Ibook G3. Now the cool thing is these were owned by the same person. So all 3 of these were owned by the same person. This Ibook, this Black MacBook, and this MacBook Pro. So the Ibook here is a G3. It was running macOS 9.1 when I received it. I upgraded it to 9.2, and I finally upgraded it to Tiger. So it is on 10.4 Tiger, has a 10 gigabyte hard drive, 256 megabytes of RAM, and PowerPC G3. I'm not really sure of the megahertz and all that good stuff. So that's that. This bad boy was also given to me here, and this is a Lenovo, and unfortunately, it does not work anymore. It's an IdeaPad Yoga. It's an 11-inch. It's one of the first touch screens that they had with Windows 8, and I installed Linux on it, and after that, it decided to croak on me for some reason. So, when you turn it on, it basically turns on with a really loud fan. The display never comes on, and I regret putting Linux on it because I don't know why it did that. So I've had no luck in getting this to get anything on the display. I connected HDMI, all this stuff, but that's another video. Really disappointed in this because I really like this little laptop. This is probably very expensive back in the day. It's orange. It had a 256 gig of SSD. Here's one of my daily drivers here. So this is my 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro running Mojave, and it has a 2.9 gigahertz Intel Core i7, 16 gigs of LPDDR3, excuse me, and it does have the dedicated graphics. So Radeon Pro 560, 4 gigs. So this is my daily driver. This is my work computer here. I have 2 displays. So I have this LG 27-inch, which I got, it was a display model at Best Buy. I got a great deal on it, was really pleased with that. And this is a older Dell 20-inch model, I believe. And we had these at my job, so I kind of wanted to get one similar to it. Anyway, this is a Dell, and it has a Core i5 7400, so it's quad core, 12 gigs of RAM, obviously 64-bit, and it's running Windows 10 Home 1903. So also it has a 120 gig SSD. The MacBook has a 512 gig SSD, which sometimes isn't enough, but it's a great computer, so I'm happy with it. Just to show you some more stuff down here. So if you can even see this, this is the Dell Desktop here. I have a QNAP NAS here. It is a TS451 Plus. I have Google Wi-Fi. I have one here. I have one in my bedroom and one in the living room here. And then I have routers and switches. So I have a switch for the Google Wi-Fi because it only has two Ethernet, but one Ethernet for the internet and one out. So I had to have a switch to get everything else plugged in wired. And this is my office closet. So I have things that I just don't use or they're not being used at the moment. But here you can see I have another Dell monitor, which I use for testing. Keyboards for the Macs. So I have an iMac 20-inch here. And I upgraded the RAM to about 4 gigs. This is a 27-inch 2009 iMac here. And I did put an SSD in this, and you can see that video on YouTube. Here I have a 2012 Nexus 7. It runs, but it's meh. I have a iPad original. This was my cousin's, so that's why it's in a pink case. I have a Lenovo, God, is it an IdeaPad maybe? It's a little 11-inch laptop I got for 150 bucks. This HP laptop was given to me by a friend. It's a 15-inch. I put an SSD in it, and my nephew uses it whenever he comes over. Over here, you'll see I have routers. So I have an old router. I have my old cable modem and another router. This is the stand for my monitors. I put them on a stand, and here are some boxes. So you have my mouse here, the switch, and a webcam, and then the Google Wi-Fi box. And then up here, I do keep all of my boxes for all my Apple products and anything that I feel like I need to keep. I keep cables here, and that's just junk. And then I have more boxes here, so there's some more boxes for stuff. Keyboards, and keep all my manuals and stuff in there. Also, over here, you'll see I have cords. So I try to organize this as best I can, but I have cords and cables and stuff. All my repair stuff is in here, as well as extra parts, so like hard drives, RAM, and you know, that kind of stuff. Over here, you'll see my little pile of CDs, and I do have the box to my car's stereo, for whatever reason. But yeah, there's CDs and stuff like that in there. So it's organized chaos is what we call it. Organized chaos.
Hello. I am at work now, and you know, as I'm editing this video and looking at this, I'm like, oh, I did miss some stuff. So the things I missed were, you know, I don't know if you guys want to even see this or if anybody's going to watch the whole thing, whatever, but I had other devices. So I do have an iPad Pro 2017 12.9 inch. I know I got the older one with the home button, but that's all right. I'll get one of the newer ones eventually. I have a 50 Apple Watch here, which is a Series 3. God, what else? I'm sure I'm gonna miss something, but there are things. I have a couple different game systems, like older game systems. I have an N64, a couple games for that. I have a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 3.